It's the starting lineup. Kip Keefer, Tony Curry, the legend, and Case Keefer bring it every week.
The coaches don't like what's going on.
Fellas, wow. Congratulations.
Weather is of universal appeal. It affects you and everybody watching.
Because you're a real legend, you're authentic, you've lived it.
You never know who's going to be in the starting lineup.
Welcome back to another rousing rendition of the starting lineup. You never knew who's going to stop by. We have some very special guests coming up next week, and then the following week, I think you may be getting your first massage live on the show.
Oh, man.
Yes, a Saturday morning massage.
I'm on a roll.
For Kip Keefer, we got that going on. I'm Tony Curry, along with Kip here at the starting lineup. We, of course, have all of our special guests live from the desert. We're going to have the legend come up here. Terry Queen's always got a rant going on. And not a whole lot going on this past week as we're lying 5 weeks in the weeds, waiting for college football to kick off. But we did have a very interesting national anthem at the All-Star break and I only wanted to bring this up. Of course, if you missed it, Ingrid Edges, who's a four-time Grammy potential winner. She has not won a Grammy, but she's been up for 4 awards. She got up to sing the national anthem for the Home Run Derby. And unfortunately, we can't play that version of it here on the show. First of all, we don't have licensing. Second of all, we wouldn't want to put you through it.
Well, Tony, go ahead and recreate it for us.
No, I couldn't sing that bad. I really couldn't. I've actually sang a national anthem. I couldn't do that bad. It was so bad
oh my God.
That she came out immediately after the game and said, I was drunk and I'm going straight to rehab. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, in this world of look the other way, fast news cycles, it wasn't me, I wasn't feeling good, I had a drink, and I must have mixed it with my medication wrong.
Oh my gosh.
Everyone's got an excuse. She came right out and said, listen, I was drunk and I need help, and I'm going to get it right now. And I'm like, you know what? I'm buying a record just because of it.
And I'll give a round of applause. Well done, MLB. You chose wisely.
I mean,
yikes.
If that doesn't tell you that, of course, alcohol and drugs, it's insanity, man. Remember Stanley Wilson?
Oh,
do you remember the running back for the Cincinnati
yeah.
Bengals, Super Bowl 33, was it?
Right in that.
He's sitting in his hotel room. They're getting ready to take on the San Francisco 49ers, I believe it was. The first time the Cincinnati Bengals ever went to a Super Bowl, they're knocking on his door at 6 o'clock in the morning. He's not answering his door. He's not answering at 7. He's not answering at 8. He's not answering at 9. He's coked up out of his brain in his hotel room. He misses. The star running back for the Cincinnati Bengals misses the Super Bowl. Don't tell me it's not insanity, man. So for her, a lot of people are like, how in the world could you show up to sing the national anthem in front of 8 million people and be drunk? That's how. But kudos to her, and we wish her the best of luck.
Yeah,
and we hope that she's okay.
Terrible societal problem, and I hope we're entering an era where perhaps we'll start putting more emphasis on people in this country that need help and identify problems and have resources and services available. I think we've spent too much time worrying about a lot of other places, and I think our own people need to get the priority now.
I'd agree with you. And I'll be honest with you, after I heard it, I actually thought, I don't know what kind of music, I know she's a country star.
Yes.
I actually could see her singing in that style. And so I thought maybe that's the way she wanted to make it sound like, because there were some parts where obviously she's a star, she knows how to sing, and I thought maybe that's her shtick, maybe that's the way she sings the national anthem, because everyone wants to come in and have their own slant, their own angle on it, but she just straight out said, no, I was drunk.
Bombed.
It was, so anyway, so we're getting ready for college football. It's going to be huge here. It's weird because every single week, almost every single day, we have another type of lawsuit, something going through the feds. The feds have now come and said that Title IX will be part of the revenue sharing. What does that mean for the smaller schools? That's the problem. They're telling us what's going to happen, but they're not telling us how we're going to pull it off.
Yeah.
Yes, Title IX will be part of revenue sharing, which means that females, males alike, it's not based off a 50-50 split. It's based off the percentage of males to females you have at your college as student athletes and how they're going to be paid off. But if you're going to pay the males, you got to pay the females.
Just add another layer to the conundrum of how are we going to do this? I mean, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. Of course, SEC Media Day is wrapping up in Dallas earlier in the week. And again, the coach speak when asked about all these issues is basically, well, at least there's some solutions being worked out. But none of the people even in the business, Tony, can answer the question because they don't know what's going on. It's this gigantic shot in the dark of, well, somehow it'll work out itself. But every day, another layer gets piled on that makes this even more complicated. And if you really looked at the legal aspects of this, Title IX being included in all of this, it was probably a slam dunk. But economically, you just scratch your head and wonder how in the world are they going to work that out?
And again, like teams like this right here, they're the ones going, okay, you told us something else new. We obviously weren't part of a vote. We mentioned down in Naples, you had the autonomy for the 4 power conferences, which, by the way, have 18, 17, 16, and 16 teams. Yeah. I'm scratching my eyes going, wait a minute, the Big Ten's got 18 teams.
Yeah, the Big Ten has 18 teams.
Absolutely bizarre. And then you had these 28 other commissioners who are outside room 3 at the Hyatt in Naples, and they're going, what are they meeting about? And they're meeting about all these things that obviously is going to affect all 40 commissioners and progressors to make this thing happen. And again, where's the money be coming from? We'll have to find out. It's going to be really, really interesting. But just another major move.
You've got your good friend Mark Ingram at UAB, who is your kind of pipeline to all of that perspective. And Mark's got to be lying awake at night going, how is this going to work for us?
Well, we know at the end of the year, the NCAA strokes a check to every college team, based off the revenue that was made through that year. And obviously the college football playoff is a totally different thing. That's not an NCAA thing. They're 2 totally different things. And it's going to come back to, okay, you owe us $13 million or you owe us $6 million based on this type of revenue sharing, whether you want to be part of paying players. The other thing we mentioned last week, do you want the Fed to be taking taxes out of your paycheck? As a player, you're going to have the opportunity to say, I want to pay to play. I want to go ahead and get paid to play, which means you're going to have to pay taxes, which means you may have to pay your own scholarship fees. That's going to have to be one, or you can come in and say, I like the old way, just let me play, and if I make some money on the side as a stipend. I mean, it is so crazy screwed up, dude. It is so crazy. But you're going to have a lot of players that are saying, now listen, I want my $50,000. Okay, you're going to pay taxes on that. Oh, by the way, you're not getting a scholarship for your junior year because we're paying you. These are all things that they have to figure out, and that's what they're having to do at that UAB level.
It's a mess. It really screams of a fact that a lot of this developed that should have been addressed on the front end. NIL, transfer portal, all the changes which were inevitable, but they didn't prepare for it. The NCAA particularly, and if you watch this show and listen to any of my other broadcast outlets, I am very critical of the NCAA for that's their role, is to anticipate the changes that were coming. They did nothing but fight the inevitable. They paid millions of dollars to go all the way to the Supreme Court to try to block athletes from being compensated, and they lost 9-0. Yep. When's the last time you had a 9-0 Supreme Court decision?
It's been a long time. My best way to analogize this, I was talking to my son last night, it's like going out and getting 20 maxed out credit cards. Get 20 credit cards with nothing on them and go out and spend everything and max everything out. Then you get home and now you're trying to figure out how to spend it and pay for it all. That's exactly what it's like. You're going to go out and max out everything, and all of a sudden you have to figure out how you're going to be paying off these 20 credit cards. It's going to be crazy. As a college football fan, should not affect us much at all. But it's a trickle-down thing. We're going to pay more in ticket prices. It's going to happen one way or another. We're going to end up spending more as a college football fans to see some of our favorite schools. But we are 5 weeks away, and it's going to be unlike any college football season we've had. We're going at 12 teams, then potentially 14 down the road. But we can't wait. And we are so excited to be here on ABC 3340 because not only do we have some special guests, we're going to have, of course, Southern Precision Staffing. Kai Gregory's going to be back in. We have a great gambling angle we're going to be taking to the show. I know you've set up the show here coming up a little bit later on. It's going to be fast-moving, fast-paced. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be killer.
Yeah, the starting lineup beginning August 24th, when we get into week 0, the kickoff to the college football season, our format's going to change. It's going to be fast-moving. It's going to be constant information. It's going to be a lot of participation from all of the members of our starting lineup. I'm so excited about this. It's going to be a fantastic show, the perfect jumping-off spot before the SEC on ABC every week. The very first game following our show on August 31st is Georgia-Clemson from Atlanta. And every week we're going to have Alabama, we're going to have Auburn, we're going to have LSU, all the big teams, Texas and Oklahoma. The Texas-Oklahoma game will follow the starting lineup the week that they play that at the Red River Shootout. It's going to be a phenomenal show and be the perfect place because our emphasis is on the SEC. Game day can be off at the Wisconsin and Minnesota game. Knock yourselves out, fellas. We're going to talk Alabama. We're going to talk Auburn, UAB, and the SEC on the starting lineup and give you information you can't get anywhere else.
Also, special guest. We're going to have coaches, rock and roll. We're going to be all over the place. We do the show every single Saturday morning, 10:30, 11 o'clock, right here on ABC 3340. This is the starting lineup.
The Birmingham Racecourse Casino turns dreams into reality. Like Roger M., who just won over $51,000. And Rebecca, celebrating a life-changing jackpot of $160,000. You could be the next to dance the Icky Shuffle with a big win.
Woo! I'm a winner! I'm a winner! Woo! I'm a winner! I'm a winner! Woo! And you can be a winner too!
Don't miss your chance to be our next big winner at the Birmingham Racecourse Casino.
Each year, significant funding from entertainment dollars generated at the Birmingham Racecourse Casino and distributed by the Birmingham Racing Commission provides significant revenue to some of our community's most vital resources. And one of those exemplary institutions is historic Miles College, a true foundational pillar of academic opportunities and excellence. Recognized as among America's most outstanding HBCU institutions, Miles College, an annual statutory recipient of funding from the Racing Commission, utilizes those proceeds to assist in providing invaluable education and resources in a variety of fields of study. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, paying off for Alabama.
Kip Keefer, Tony Curry. It's going to be a marvelous year. We're going to be on right before that 11 o'clock SEC game every single week. Clemson, Georgia, the first game. We're also starting some new things on Tony Curry Radio. You can already hear Need to Know, the Keefer and Curry Show. Heart of Dixie's got some shows. We got some fantastic work on Tony Curry Radio and a brand new show called The Inferno, which is going to be a wonderful show. We're going to do that with Andy Kennedy and, of course, Trent Dilfer and, of course, the UAB Athletic Director, Mark Ingram's going to be a show. I'm going to be doing want to push it out on all social media platforms. That's going to be another show we got kicked off, plus about 3 or 4 other great shows that I haven't talked to Kip about. Kip's going to be a bigger part of Tony Curry Radio before you know it. 24 hours of Kip coming up. Get the TKR app. The TKR
Kip all the time.
Get the TKR app. It's those 3 little letters. Android or Apple, you're good to go. Of course, on any major platform of podcasts, you can find any of our shows, including the starting lineup, and right here on the wonderful YouTube channel here. Check us out. It's going to be a marvelous year of college football. And Tony Curry Radio, looking forward to it. Now, coming up, the man who's a big part of every successful show we have around here because he loves to rant and rave, and sometimes it takes him 3 or 4 minutes just to get fired up. But when he starts spitting, I know we've hit page rate. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the legend.
Oh, welcome to the Legend Cave, ladies and gentlemen. It's my main man, Monty Bauer, with the perfect pass right there. Monty Bauer, who almost was the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers back when Terry Bradshaw was there, but he didn't quite have the arm. You know what I'm saying, Kip? He didn't quite have it, but he's still one of the golden boys. The great Kip Keefer is here with me in the Legend Cave this week. Kip, I don't know if you heard the news or not, but Alabama is naming their field Nick Saban Field. How about that? What's your first impressions of that?
Well, I think that's very appropriate since he's regarded now as the GOAT, the best coach of all time, or greatest coach of all time. So Nick needs the honor, and I think that keeps the continuity kind of going. Plus the $500,000 they're paying him to be a consultant this year probably it's fitting into Nick's plans pretty well too.
Well, I say this, Alabama, they ought to name the state Nick Saban State. A boulevard, Nick Saban Boulevard, Nick Saban Highway, Nick Saban Road. Has there ever been a greater man on this earth other than Moses and Nick Saban? I'm spitting already, Kim. I'm getting crazy. We're 4 weeks away, ladies and gentlemen. We're going off here on the starting lineup. Now, some folks don't like it, Kim. What would you say to them folks that don't like Nick Saban getting all this attention?
I would say, give it a rest. Nick Saban has earned every honor they can give him. And if we do change the name from Alabama to Nick Saban land, I'm sorry, just live with it because this guy has earned all the plaudits that he's getting.
Yes, he ought to go to Washington right now and run for president. Run! I'll be with you, Nick. I'll be vice president. Nick can be president. I'll be vice president, baby. We'll take over the world. It'll be Nick Saban's world, ladies and gentlemen. But 4 weeks away, Kip.
Unbelievable.
I heard this week Malachi Moore say that in summer workouts, he was working out with Ryan Hollywood Williams, and Malachi Moore said that Ryan Hollywood Williams is unguardable. He's never seen an 18-year-old kid with his kind of speed, his kind of moves. What kind of impact do you think Hollywood would have this coming season for Alabama, Kipper?
From every report, he's a natural. He can do it all. It's just one of those generational type players. You still don't know until you see them when the lights are the brightest and the games are the most meaningful. But this guy looks like one of the most exciting prospects they've had. And believe me, we just talked about Nick Saban. They've had a lot of exciting prospects during this run of success.
Woo! And big news this week, ladies and gentlemen, Keon Russell, the big recruit we got that was an SMU recruit, the quarterback that changed over to Alabama, who was MVP of the Elite 11. This week, 24/7 Sports raised him to a 5-star prospect. Like, man, I'm telling you, Coach DeBoer is blowing it up down there, Kip. I don't know if you noticed, but already Alabama with the #1 recruiting class for 2025. Oh, Nick may be gone, baby, but the A is still there. Don't make me preach up here this morning, Kip. What do you think about what Coach DeBoer is doing?
Well, one of the knocks on DeBoer, when people were looking for things to shoot at him with, was the fact that Washington last year was built almost completely on transfers and portal guys and hardly any high school recruits whatsoever. And a lot of people said maybe DeBoer's not the right fit because of that. I think you really got to be thrilled if you're an Alabama fan that he's hit the ground running and understands how important to keep up with Kirby Smart in the arms race, because right now Alabama and Georgia are here on high school recruits for 2025. Everybody else is down here. It's a 2-horse race.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what, we know Georgia is a monster, but Alabama is the monster. You know we own you, Georgia. We know you're great. We know you're powerful. We know you're mean. But mentally, baby, we own you. We own you, Kipper. Kip, less than a minute to go right here. 4 weeks away. How excited are you, brother?
I'm so pumped. I mean, the opening weekend on SEC, amazing schedule with Georgia, Clemson, Notre Dame, Texas A&M. Case will be at Las Vegas at the big game between LSU and USC. What an interesting game that is, Legend, with two coaches that have mirror images. They had Heisman Trophy quarterbacks last year. They had unbelievable offenses, and both their defenses were god-awful. So this is going to be a really interesting game between Brian Kelly and Lincoln Riley, both who unbelievably are kind of on the hot seat.
Man, we love it. We're going to wrap up right here. We're 4 weeks away. Get pumped, ladies and gentlemen. Bama about to roll. Remember, it's just a game. Don't be like the Kipper and the Legend.
Sports insane.
When you work your hiney off, good things happen. And, we've been picking ball games here in the starting lineup. Kip Keefer, myself, Tony Curry, and then Kai Gregory, who's with Southern Precision Staffing, comes in, goes 9-0 one week. And then, of course, we have your son who just knocks it out of the ballpark with futures, all kinds of great plays every single week right here. You'll catch him on the show this morning. So we decided to take the 4 heads and do something called 4 on the floor, or we can call it whatever you want, but it's going to be a great show where we're picking ball games every single week. We'll give you an opportunity to hear those picks for free right here in the starting lineup, or perhaps we want to pay for some upper echelon picks. We could do that as well. So we got that coming up really soon. It's going to be great with Kai Gregory. It was his idea, Southern Precision Staffing. For any of your staffing needs, you need a staff to pick ball games? We're here for you. Whether it's construction, IT, or anything else, Southern Precision Staffing is the way to go. 205-682-2828, 205-682-2828, where your word and your handshake still mean something. They're centered right here in Hoover, Alabama, serving the United States of America. SPS, Southern Precision Staffing, 205-682-2828.
Folks, catch us on Jocks 94.5 for our sister radio programs to the starting lineup. Saturday mornings, get your weekend sports started with Game Time. 8 to 10, 94.5 FM on Jocks. Kip Keefer, the Legend's been on lately. Terry Quillian will be joining me when football season rolls around. We really set the stage for your whole football weekend, and it is going to be an ideal spot to land on your way to Alabama or Auburn on game day, or if you're just chilling at the house, be sure to tune in and also catch the morning after, starting our 8th season on Sundays from 9 to 11 on Jocks. It's going to be awesome every week. It's your first opportunity to weigh in on what you saw on the field on Saturday. A very popular show, the longest running sports show right now in the Birmingham market. So it's the game time on Saturday, it's the morning after on Sunday, our companion shows to the starting lineup, and you'll get a lot of the starting lineup personalities that visit with us on that show, as well as you, our invaluable callers. And also, the Birmingham Racecourse Casino is giving away, get ready for this, a Maserati. That's what I said. Yeah. An Italian sports car. It's a long way, Tony, from when we used to shell out $1,500 and give away a classic caddy from like 1975. The big time has arrived at the Racecourse Casino. Maserati is going to be given away in August. Check out the details on the Birmingham Racecourse Casino website. We'll have more information as we get closer to that giveaway.
Hey, Kip, look at everyone right in the eye right here and tell them about a brand new sponsor we have right here on the starting lineup.
Well, let me tell you about that new sponsor. The Glass Panda. It's located in the Brock's Gap Shopping Center in Hoover, near the Hoover Met. Met with a wonderful woman today named Ashley. She's going to be guesting with us next week.
Nice.
And she's bringing food. So the crew here is excited. All of our starting lineup's excited. It's going to be great. She's going to be here next week on Saturday to introduce her business. And I'm really excited, Tony. On Thursday, August 15th, from 5 to 6:30, we're going to have a special happy hour gathering for the starting lineup. All of our listeners, all of our viewers on radio and television, come on out. We'll have prizes, drink specials. Come on out and meet the whole crew from the starting lineup. It's going to be great. It's time now to go to the desert. Case Keefer, he's just been cranking out the winners. Here's some more. Case is next.
Hey, it's Case Keefer coming to you from Las Vegas, back again for another edition of my Best Bet segment as part of the starting lineup and game time. Still in football mode here, getting ready for both the NFL and college football seasons, as I teased last week and gave out some college football plays. I'll stick to my promise to give out football plays at least every show for the rest of the year. But first, I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't touch on the final major of the year, the Open Championship, only because we've had so much success with golf majors on the show throughout the year. Of course, that wasn't the case with the U.S. Open. We got crushed. I think the guys I gave out, no one was even in contention. But before that, I think we had single bullets on Scotty Scheffler at 10-1 to win the Masters, right at about the Super Bowl time I gave that out before he really got hot. And then Xander Schauffele at 21-1 to win the PGA Championship about a month and a half, 2 months before that too. So let's try to finish it out strong. I know by now, by the time you're listening, it's probably already got probably the fourth round tee time set or close to there, but we're yet to tee off at the time of recording. To recap what I gave out on the show going into the tournament, I gave out Xander Schauffele again 16-1, Colin Morikawa 24-1, and Tyrrell Hatton 40-1. That's still 3 of the 4 lowest guys I ended up betting outright to win this tournament. The other guy I added that I unfortunately couldn't give out of the show ahead of time is I did bet Tommy Fleetwood at 28-1. I think all these guys are good matches with Royal Troon. It feels a little weird, this first major I can remember where I don't have any exposure on Scotty Scheffler or Rory McIlroy, at least from an outright perspective. I still think they're the two best golfers, but I really think the gap between those two and Xander is a lot shorter than the odds are suggesting. I think this sets up well for Xander. I think approach is going to be so important on these small greens. I think you're taking an emphasis away from putting, so you have better prices on all these guys if you followed me when I gave them out. Xander, I think you could still find 14-1 going into the tournament, so 16-1, not a huge difference. Colin Morikawa has really crashed, though, from 24-1 to now about 14 or 15-1, and getting a little iffy about it. Not for any data reason or any part using my brain, but just everyone I hear is picking this guy. But it makes sense. He's playing so well. He's had obviously won an Open Championship in the past. Seems like it's set up well for him. The advice I gave going into the PGA was that if Xander had the lead or was close to the lead going into the weekend, you were still going to get good value on him. And what do you know? I mean, the markets were all off because of his reputation for not getting it done. He was still a big plus price even when he had like a 2-stroke lead on the weekend. I'm kind of feeling like that might be the same case here. So if one of these guys I've given out is still near the top of the leaderboard, if anyone other than like Scotty Scheffler is behind them for 2 strokes or more, I mean, they should all be minus prices. So maybe you can jump on something live. The golf markets these days are so great. We can jump on live stuff. My other, I guess, overarching thought is I just think this is a lot more open than the other majors. There's a lot of guys that can win. I feel like there's this popular sentiment now that there's a big gap between the PGA Tour and the LIV guys and the DP World Tour guys, and while that might be true at some points, I really don't think it is on a course like this at Royal Troon. So if you see some of the non-premium, I'm kind of bearish on John Rahm and even Bryson DeChambeau this week. The very top LIV guys I'm selling on, but kind of that middle, guys like Dean Burmester, Sam Horsfield, if they're up there after when you're listening to this after 3 rounds, I don't mind some live entry bets on them. Maybe if you don't feel comfortable with outright top 5, top 10, and even some of the deep DP World Tour guys like the Højgaard brothers, Tom McKinnon, Victor Perez, Sammy Valimaki. Again, I'm recording before I see what the leaderboard is, but I really think there might be value on some of these guys. Not total guys always at the end of the leaderboard, but look these guys up. If there's some decent DP World Tour or Live guys contending, I think you're going to get some good prices live. So that's what to look for in the Open Championship. We gave out some college football bets last week, so let's transition to the NFL this week. We'll start in the NFC. I bet some divisions this week. I'm going to give out 2 of them here on the show. We're going to start, and they're both going to be unpopular, just at least from what I've been hearing, what other people are picking. Just a disclaimer there. Let's start in the NFC East, where I'm going to take the Cowboys plus 150 to win the division. So much negativity around this team. Seems like everyone is on the Eagles, and I get it. No one ever wins the NFC East back-to-back, but I just look from a personnel perspective. I think Dallas is the better team. Data-wise, they're the better team. I know there's a lot of these narratives that everyone's unhappy, everyone's looking to get paid, and they're not getting paid. To me, the narratives can get easily overblown, and I'd rather look at the cold, hard facts, and I just think Dallas is still the better team. You could flip the narrative, too, and say, okay, all these guys are going to come together and say, this is our last chance. We're not going to be all together next year, and they've been such a great regular season team. I think having Philadelphia an odds-on favorite, a little rich for me. I could see a path to Philadelphia winning it, but I like Dallas plus 150. The other one I'm going to give out, and this one will raise some eyebrows, because last year we picked the Falcons so much, didn't ultimately come through, but this year I just think they're way too high of a favorite in the NFC South. The Saints had a point differential of like 130 points better than them last year. Now you can get the Saints plus 425 to win the South. I'm going to go ahead and take that. I'm kind of selling on the Falcons. Could be good, but I mean, Kirk Cousins to be the savior. He's 35 years old, coming off an Achilles tear. That's a high praise for me. So Dallas plus 150, New Orleans plus 425, the first 2 division bets. Thanks as always for listening.
So I heard you talking about the sister stations. We have brother stations. We have uncle stations. We have aunt stations. We have all these different shows that encompass what we're doing here in the starting lineup. And you said you have this show called The Day After? I thought
the morning after.
Isn't that a pill or something? Isn't the morning?
Yeah, a couple of years ago, Tony, I got an email
I hear that.
from a guy who was trashing one of my opinions on the show, and he says, "Well, what do you expect from a show that's named after a birth control pill?"
Which is perfect, because we are talking about shows on Saturday, and if you wanted to change your mind, going to bed at 2 with a 10 and wake up at 10 with a 2, if you wanted to go and change it up on Sunday mornings on your way to church, I guess that would be the perfect name for a show like that.
Yeah, there's always a critic, but anyway, we thought that was a clever name because it really caught the concept of that program to be on the morning after all the big games on Saturday.
So I'm a little concerned. You and I went on this run. People have listened to you for years and listened to me, and it's crazy to do a sports show and not give our plays, right? And so we've always given our plays. Well, you and I got on this unbelievable run this year where we were 22-3 at one point, and then Kai Gregory comes in. He goes 9-0. He went 7-0. I think we were like 9-1 that weekend. He beat us, but anyway, he goes 9-0, and he comes back goes 4-3. And so everyone's like, they start watching the show just to get our plays, which is fine. I don't care why you're watching the show. Just watch the show, right? Yeah. If we can give you a cherry on top of that Sunday every week, so be it. So we decided we're going to go ahead and start giving out plays every single week. Now, you know what normally happens when you do that? You end up going 0 for 18.
Not this show.
So the pressure is on this year.
Yep.
But I do believe that we got ourselves a little bit of a niche a little bit. And you and I never went the same way on any play, and we never went against each other on any play. So I think we got this figured out. So that's going to be another facet, another angle to the starting lineup this year. So if for any other reason, tune in between 10:30 11 o'clock, and I will tell you right now, we will be looking at that 11 o'clock game. That first week, we're going to be looking at that Clemson-Georgia game, so we'll be breaking that down too. So if you're watching early to get ready to go at 11 o'clock, we'll have you pick there too.
We're going to have a segment called Best Bet Upset. The best bet is going to be against the spread. Pick any game in the country that you like. That's going to be your best bet. And then you got to give your upset where the point spread doesn't matter. You just need to pick a dog to win outright.
Yep.
Nobody else is doing that kind of concept. And we're going to have everybody on our entire starting lineup participating. There's going to be scoreboard every week, and there will be a penalty for whoever comes in last each week. Don't know what that's going to be yet, but stay tuned.
Next week, it'll mark 4 weeks till college football.
Unbelievable. Here we go, baby.
This is the starting lineup.
Let's kick it off.